Tonight, shock and outrage.
This is an insult to these families that thought that there was justice.
Reaction pours in following the statutory release of convicted killer Sean Lamb. What the victims' families have to say. Also tonight, the latest from court as a case over hunting rights on Crown land plays out before a judge. Plus, Grey Cup fever.
Go, Riders, go!
A look at all the excitement and fan activities leading up to this weekend's big game.
CTV News. Live from downtown Winnipeg with Marilee Caruso.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Outrage tonight over the release of convicted killer Sean Lamb. Lamb was sentenced to 20 years in 2013 for killing 2 Indigenous women. And after serving 2/3 of that sentence, he's now been granted statutory release, a move that's prompting family members to call for changes to the law. To explain, CTV's Jeff Keel joins us now live. So, Jeff, what kind of changes do they want?
Indigenous leaders and families of victims say relatives should be part of the release process and better notified when someone is being released because they all feel Lamb should not be out of prison. Family members of Caroline Sinclair, Lorna Blacksmith, and Tanya Niepenak say they were blindsided by a parole board decision to release convicted killer Sean Lamb.
It's triggering. It just feels like it happened yesterday. And it's unbelievable that it turned out this way.
The 66-year-old pleaded guilty to 2 counts of manslaughter for the 2012 killings of Sinclair and Blacksmith. Charges were stayed in relation to Niepenak, who has never been found. In 2013, Lamb was sentenced to 20 years. Court heard he beat Sinclair with an axe handle and weeks later strangled Blacksmith with a TV cord. But now he's been granted statutory release with conditions, which all federal inmates are eligible for under the law after serving 2/3 of their sentence. The parole board said Lamb presents a high imminent risk of violence towards a partner, while a low imminent risk of violence towards others.
I think Indigenous women are really very, very, very scared at this point.
Relatives and Indigenous leaders rallied in Winnipeg calling for change. Some want consecutive sentences mandated for multiple killings. Others want families of victims notified before someone is released. And they want to be part of the release process because they question how Lamb could be let out so soon.
I don't think this man should be walking around free after only 13 years.
The justice system is not providing any justice. They did not share any information.
MKO Grand Chief Garrison Settee was chief of Pimicikamak Cree Nation, where Lorna Blacksmith is from, when she disappeared.
I am outraged that this man is being released into society as if her life did not matter, but also the lives of the other victims.
CTV News reached out to the Federal Justice Minister's office for a comment. We are waiting for a response.
Jeff, do all offenders up for statutory release get released?
Yeah, not necessarily. According to the federal government website, the parole board can order the offender detained in prison if it finds there are reasonable grounds to believe that an offender is likely to commit specific offenses before the end of their sentence. They are an offense causing death or serious harm, a sexual offense involving a child, or a serious drug offense.
All right. Thanks for this, Jeff. Winnipeg defense lawyers are being asked to review potentially thousands of cases for any possible miscarriages of justice. It comes after a police officer pleaded guilty to corruption and illegal activity. But tonight, the massive task has left many defense lawyers both confused and frustrated.
I don't know how that is a reasonable ask of a defense lawyer. I don't know how that is going to be achieved.
This week, 22-year police veteran Elston Bostock pleaded guilty to several charges, including breach of trust, attempting to obstruct justice, and indignity to human remains. Now, the Manitoba Prosecution Service is asking defense lawyers who've represented clients whose convictions involved Bostock to review the cases for any evidence of misconduct. The Criminal Defense Lawyers Association of Manitoba says this could be an expensive and difficult task, as there are potentially thousands of cases that may need to be reviewed.
I think a lot of us are frustrated. You know, a lot of lawyers extremely busy, right? They've got many of these cases that are open they're dealing with, you know, and now they're being asked maybe to go back and look at several hundred closed files that maybe they don't have easy access to.
In a statement, a provincial spokesperson says the Crown has an obligation to disclose relevant information it has about police misconduct to the defense, adding, given the Crown's obligation, this is standard practice in cases such as this. The fight over hunting on Crown land reached a Winnipeg courtroom today. The Manitoba Wildlife Federation, which represents the interests of hunters in this province, squared off against Bloodvein First Nation. The suit claims the nation, which is located about 200 kilometers north of Winnipeg, set up an illegal highway blockade, and they say that's preventing licensed hunters from using the Crown land to hunt moose. Live tonight with the latest on this fight is CTV's Joseph Bernacki. So, Joseph, what happened in court today?
Marilee, the courtroom was packed. I could barely find a seat. The case is attracting so much interest that at times people had to stand outside the courtroom due to a shortage of seating. Court heard Bloodvein First Nation first set up a road check stop at Rice River Road to prevent the flow of drugs and alcohol into the nation in May this year. However, the Wildlife Federation claims that turned into a blockade later in the summer, and licensed moose hunters are being turned away, unable to access game hunting areas. Manitoba Wildlife Federation is calling the action unlawful and is asking the court for an injunction to have it removed. Bloodvein is calling for the motion to be dismissed. The chief of the First Nation acknowledges it does not have the right to keep hunters away.
Just wanting to ensure that our members are safe, wanting to ensure that we're listening to what our members are saying. You have grandmothers, you have mothers, you have grandfathers, you have fathers, and they're all saying that they want to stop the drugs and alcohol that are coming in.
A Manitoba Wildlife Federation advisor says a quick decision would be welcome.
We didn't know if we'd have a decision made today. Looks like the justice is going to provide a decision on November 27th, so we're happy to hear that's coming quickly before the season begins, and it's hard to say which way it's going to go right now.
The province and the Minister of Natural Resources and Indigenous Futures, Ian Bushy, are both listed as co-respondents on the court action.
Joseph, what did the province have to say about all this?
Marilee, the province's lawyers told court the province is not taking a position on the matter, saying it's the province's view Rice River Road should be accessible to all Manitobans. The court adjourned until Thursday, November 27th.
All right, thanks for this, Joseph. A weekend circled on every Canadian football fan's calendar is here. Tonight marks the official kickoff to the Grey Cup. CTV's Daniel Halmerson is live at the Convention Centre tonight, getting into the CFL spirit. So, Daniel, what's happening there?
Well, Marilee, they're calling this Canada's biggest social, and be hard to disagree with that. I'm in Touchdown, Manitoba. Now, behind me right now, a couple days ago, we had the CFL cheerleading alumni on the show. They're performing right now, and throughout the course of the day, I've been talking to fans from coast to coast, all here in Winnipeg, and talked to them, organizers, and even some Bomber alumni and Bomber players. They all say this weekend's all about a love for the game.
Grey Cup weekend in Winnipeg is here, and die-hard CFL fans are showing up in droves.
Go Riders, go!
While the big game between Saskatchewan and Montreal goes Sunday, there's plenty happening beforehand.
To be able to now invite everybody here, witness our fan base firsthand, and really experience kind of what the Winnipeg CFL market's all about is really special. I'm really excited.
The party starts right at the airport with a group of volunteers putting the friendly in friendly Manitoba, welcoming football fans coming from out of town.
We're feeling just great. Yeah, so for me, it's my 52nd, and Sandy, I guess it's about 30 or 35th Grey Cup game, and the weather's going to be -5, -6, sunny.
The convention center's the place to be for live concerts, team party rooms, and even a chance to catch up with some CFL stars.
See how much fun this actually is, though, to see how much fun that people actually have. You know, I've never seen this side of it. You know, I'm always hyper-focused. Like I said, I've been blessed to be able to play in 5 Grey Cups. Never seen this part of the Grey Cup.
And over at the University of Winnipeg is a free festival with plenty of fun lined up for the whole family.
Go inside and you've got the Tele-CFL fan experience, which is kind of combine-style drills, so you can really test your skills to see if you'd make it in the CFL.
And while some fans have a little more stake in Sunday's championship showdown, they all agree this weekend comes down to a love of the game.
The fact that you can go anywhere and somebody might be rooting for a specific team, but they're all CFL fans.
Just relax and just experience it, because there's a lot going on and everyone's here to have a good time. Doesn't matter what their team colors are.
Now, a lot of folks here in Touchdown, Manitoba are really excited. The Watchmen are headlining the show tonight. Tomorrow, Alan Doyle is taking the stage. And on Saturday, it's Country Night, headlined by the Reclaws. So plenty happening here at the Convention Centre throughout the weekend, Marilee.
Danny, I'm glad to see those fans didn't put any Saskatchewan green on you tonight. I'm very relieved about that. What else is happening around the city for fans to take in?
Well, getting underway in about half an hour or less than half an hour now is the CFL Awards show that's happening at Club Region Event Center. And the blue and gold fans here are rooting for rookie Trey Vavel, the kick returner, who's up for a couple of awards. So very exciting night ahead here in Winnipeg as the Grey Cup Festival gets underway.
All right, Danny, stay out of trouble. Thanks for the update tonight on all the fun. CTV weather specialist Colleen Brady joins us now for a first look at your evening forecast. A lot of those football fans are taking part in activities both inside and outside. What kind of weather are they going to be dealing with over the next little bit?
How about double-digit temperatures tomorrow? Now, I know folks might be double-checking their calendars just to make sure it is, in fact, the middle of November, because temperatures as nice as they've been to welcome all those visitors to Winnipeg for the Grey Cup and the festival underway. It's going to get a lot warmer tomorrow. It won't stay quite as warm for the Grey Cup game, but conditions do look great for that as well. So we will look ahead to the next couple of days heading into the weekend. Of course, we also have the Santa Claus Parade. Lots of things to celebrate outdoors in the coming days, including just the night itself. The conditions are wonderful tonight, so let's take a look through that Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. In Winnipeg right now, 2 degrees, partly cloudy, winds out of the east at 11 kilometers an hour. The pressure is dropping and the humidity right now, Marilee, is 75%.
Thanks, Colleen. One person has died due to an ongoing hepatitis A outbreak impacting several northern communities. Grand Chief Alex McDougall of Island Lake Ground Council confirmed to CTV News the outbreak has been underway for nearly a week with 30 reported cases. The majority are all in Garden Hill First Nation. A state of emergency was declared there today, but the chief notes the virus is also actively spreading in St. Teresa Point, Wasagamak, and Red Sucker Lake. A spokesperson for the province says it's aware of the outbreak, noting Manitoba health officials are working with Indigenous Services Canada to respond. A major fire forced emergency crews to shut down roads in Winnipeg's Centennial neighborhood. It broke out around 11:40 last night at a vacant home in the 500 block of William Avenue. It's actually the 4th fire at this home since August. Due to extensive smoke, fire, and water damage, an emergency demolition of that home was done. There were no injuries, and the fire is under investigation. While Manitobans are allowed to purchase legal cannabis in licensed dispensaries, some municipalities like Winkler and Steinbach have banned the stores. Tonight, a Winnipeg group is attempting to change that. Harrison Shin explains.
Ever since the legalization of recreational cannabis, dispensaries like these are open for business. But some municipalities, like Winkler and Steinbach, prohibit the sale of cannabis products, something Jesse Lavoie wants to change.
This is provincial. They were allowed via the LGCA to hold these votes and to allow the people of these cities and towns to make their decisions for them.
In 2018, a week after cannabis was legalized, both cities overwhelmingly voted no to retail cannabis stores in their boundaries. Steinbach said no with 3,686 over 1,703. Winkler voted 2,112 against and 923 in favor.
We're not throwing shame on the vote in 2018. We're asking to revisit it. There was no real-time data back then on legalization because legalization had just happened.
Lavoie presented his case to Winkler on September 23rd. CTV News reached out to the cities of Winkler and Steinbach. Winkler City Manager Jody Penner sent a statement saying a proposed plebiscite will take place in October if the resolution passes in council. Steinbach pointed to an August 19th council resolution saying a plebiscite motion was denied. So, Lavoie is trying a petition.
We're getting it approved by LGCA, so they need to approve the writing. And from the time you get your first signature, you have 90 days until your last signature. We're going to start it in March, run the 3 months.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Winnipeg Animal Services is caring for dozens of birds after making a heartbreaking discovery at a home. The agency was alerted to more than 70 birds which had been neglected for weeks. On social media, Animal Services says many were already dead from starvation, and those that survived were severely underweight. In total, it now has 43 surviving birds, which have all been assessed by a veterinarian.
It's heartbreaking to come upon a case like this where there are dozens and dozens of birds, many actively dying as we're examining them, and several cages with deceased birds at their bottoms. It's truly a heartbreaking situation.
Dr. Jonas Watson with Grant Park Animal Hospital says the rescued birds include cockatiels, lovebirds, budgies, and canaries. Animal Services says its facility isn't set up to care for this many birds, but it is trying to make the space. It's asking for gently used bird cages and volunteers to help with daily care. The birds are not yet ready for adoption. Winnipeg police tell us they were sent to the home for a report of a sudden death, which is not considered suspicious. This year is the 80th anniversary since the end of the Second World War. And despite the passage of time, several veterans of that bloody conflict continue to call Manitoba home. And today the province is honoring their service with a brand new award. It's called the Circle of Honor. The province created the new award to honor and recognize individuals who brought distinction to their units, community, and the province of Manitoba. The first ever recipients of the award are Lieutenant Colonel Kim Wilton, Sailor First Class Justin Woodcock, and Gunner Len Van Roon.
Today, at 103 years young, Len still carries himself with the steadiness of someone who has seen the world at its hardest and still chooses hope.
For the very first Circle of Honor, the province chose to focus on veterans of the Second World War and more recent service members. In the future, the province says it will honor people who served in other conflicts and operations. Canada may be on the cusp of a major deal to start manufacturing fighter jets.
We are prepared to do that technology transfer to Canada and support that build-up.
What needs to happen before a deal is made and how many jobs could be created if it does. That's next. Taking a look at the markets tonight, crude oil added 20 cents. The Canadian dollar dipped slightly. Gold futures lost $19. The TSX plunged 573 points. The Dow Jones fell 797 points, while the Nasdaq ended the day 536 points lower. Police say a Tuesday evening traffic stop led to several charges for a man who had allegedly cut off his ankle monitor. It all started when officers pulled over a taxi in the North End for a traffic violation. During the stop, police noted one of the passengers was wanted for a probation breach, having cut off his ankle monitor a day earlier. Police also allegedly seized a duffel bag containing a sawed-off shotgun, ammunition, a knife, and packages of illegal cigarettes. A 41-year-old man is now facing several charges and remains in custody. A Swedish fighter jet manufacturer said today a deal on its Gripen aircraft could bring thousands of well-paying jobs to Canada. Saab confirmed it has held talks with Bombardier and other Canadian companies about the Gripen. This ahead of a royal visit of Sweden's king and queen to Ottawa and Montreal next week. CTV's Jean-Pierre Boschman is in Sweden tonight.
The company that makes the Gripen has told CTV News that 10,000 manufacturing and research jobs could land in Canada if Ottawa adds the Swedish fighter jet to its military fleet. The president and CEO of Saab, Mikael Johansson, confirmed he's talked with Ottawa about making Gripens in Canada. He's also met with companies including Bombardier, CAE, and IMP in Nova Scotia.
It's important for Canada to have sovereign capability in Canada to do their own upgrades, to build parts of it, to do final assembly and tests. We, as Saab, we are prepared to do that technology transfer to Canada and support that build-up.
This would be contingent, of course, on Canada adding the Gripen to its military fleet. That technology transfer could see the first Canadian-made Gripen fly off the assembly line within 3 to 5 years. It could also lead to the building of a new facility, a hub of sorts, where jets could be made not just for Canada, but other nations, including Ukraine.
it makes sense to have a big footprint in Canada together with Canadian industry. So it's absolutely a benefit for us to do that.
Canada has already committed to buying made in the U.S. F-35s with an option to scale up to 88. But Prime Minister Mark Carney ordered a review of the purchase amid growing trade tensions with the neighbours to the south. A decision on whether to have a dual fleet of F-35s and Gripens has been up in the air since. A large delegation from Sweden, led by the King and Queen of this country here, is headed to Canada next week with the aim of strengthening ties. Johansson is also making the trip, which is making a stop at Bombardier.
We are focusing quite heavily to make sure that Canada has all the information they need for the moment. And then it's up to Canada to decide.
There's no word as to just when a decision could be announced. Geneviève Beauchemin, CTV News, Stockholm.
Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is not ruling out an early election ahead of the scheduled date of October 5th, 2027. Kinew says he was close to calling an early vote very recently when it looked like an NDP government bill to detain highly intoxicated people for up to 72 hours looked like it might not pass. The bill was voted into law last week after the opposition Progressive Conservatives tried but failed to amend the bill. Kinew says he could see a scenario in which an election is called if he feels the opposition is playing what he calls political games. Kinew told delegates at an NDP convention last weekend that the party is already preparing for the next election and has chosen a campaign manager. Dozens of people are rallying tonight after a 10-year-old was hit while using a crosswalk on Osborne Street.
It's huge. It's a hard thing to go through as a parent. It's a nightmare to find out your kid's been hurt. So to have everyone else taking care of the details and putting something like this together means a lot.
It happened November 5th at the intersection of Brandon Avenue. The boy's mother says he's doing well and he has dental surgery next week. The group rallied today to show support for the boy and his family, saying it's a dangerous intersection. They're calling for improved safety on this road and others. The curtain is in danger of falling at a Manitoba movie theater. Now residents have put out a casting call for heroes to help save it. The Country Fest Community Cinema in Dauphin opened in 2011 after the city's previous movie theater burned down. However, the 4-screen theater has been struggling for the last 5 years. Officials say the pandemic, changing viewing habits, and Hollywood strikes have kept some audiences away. The theater board says it needs support to keep it running.
We're kind of in a state of a bit of a state of desperation. We need to get over this next little hill, I think, and so we're asking the community and the Parkland area to support us to kind of give it a push to get back on track.
Some Dauphin residents have started a GoFundMe to help raise money for the theater. The fundraiser has a $100,000 goal and has raised nearly $9,000 already. Theater officials are looking for corporate sponsors, and they may launch a membership program where people can watch as many movies at the theater they want for a monthly fee. The local chapter of the Salvation Army is getting ready for its annual donation drive for Toy Mountain. And to kick it all off, it's preparing its float for this weekend's Santa Claus Parade. Today, CTV News got a sneak peek of the colorful unfinished float. And as you can probably tell, this year's theme is Whoville, as in the fictional town at the center of the Christmas classic, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Now, in addition to all the lights and whimsical village settings, organizers say you can expect to see the Grinch himself, along with his trusty dog, Max.
So just like the residents of Whoville, after the Grinch has taken everything from them and they still get together with all that hope and sing together, that's where we found the tie to the work of the Salvation Army in what we do every day, giving hope to neighbors in need.
The Salvation Army's Toy Mountain donation drive gets underway next week. You'll be able to drop off donations at Scotiabanks, certain Winnipeg Fire Paramedic stations, Toys R Us, and IKEA. And as mentioned, the Santa Claus Parade is set for Saturday, gets underway at 5 o'clock. You can watch it live by heading to our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca.
I'm Daniel Halmer. Said coming up, I'll have more here at the RBC Convention Center. Touchdown Manitoba at Canada's biggest social.
It sure is. Now, the Santa Claus parade, as we just mentioned, is Saturday. Sunny during the day, daytime high of 3 degrees. Now, by the time the parade gets rolling at 5 o'clock, the sun will have set, so make sure the kiddos are bundled up. Make sure you're bundled up if you're heading out to the Grey Cup game on Sunday. But overall conditions look great. Sunny, a high in the afternoon of 2 degrees. By kickoff, though, the sun will have set, but the winds actually look like they will cooperate as well, so that's good news. Monday, sunny, 2 degrees. We have the tree lighting at City Hall as well, which we will bring you live here on CTV. Tuesday, Wednesday, a mix of sun and cloud with daytime highs of 1 degree.
Well, as we told you earlier, Grey Cup festivities are officially underway as anticipation builds for this weekend's big game. And a lot of the excitement is all centered around RBC Convention Center tonight. Let's check back in with CTV's Daniel Helmerson, who is live there tonight. So, Daniel, what have you been up to since we last spoke?
Well, Marilee, good news. Some Saskatchewan fans tried to take us, but we stood our ground. Now we're waiting for some entertainment to start in about 15 minutes or so, but there is a little bit of an elephant in this room. Of course, the Bombers aren't playing in the Grey Cup this year, but talking to blue and gold fans, we keep on hearing the word pride. Pride that we're getting to share, you know, our city, our camera, with some of the fans here. Now they're a little divided on who they're cheering for this weekend. A lot of Rider fans, of course, are trying to bring us over to their side. Haven't seen too many Montreal fans yet, but I'm sure they're going to show up. But for tonight, it's all about a celebration of Manitoba here with an all-Manitoba lineup of bands. Drinks are flowing, plenty of food, and really everyone's just excited to welcome Canadians into our home for the next few days. I've even heard from some fans who are excited to check out the open Portage and Main intersection for the first time since they were here back in 2015 when we last held the Grey Cup.
You know, I got to tell you, even with the...
We'll have much more, yeah.
I was going to say, even with some of the fans, you know, dancing and jumping in front of the camera, things are pretty tame so far. If anyone knows being to a social, things are going to get wild tonight, Danny, so get out of there in one piece. Thanks, Danny. Sticking with sports, the Winnipeg Jets are back in action tonight, coming off that 5-3 win against the Canucks Tuesday, and they'll be looking for revenge when they visit the Seattle Kraken.
Larson just on the ice. Break up a rebound, and Schwartz picks it up and scores.
The two teams tangled just last month here in Winnipeg, which ended in a 3-0 shutout for Seattle. But the Kraken are expected to have some fire under their feet. They'll be looking to right the ship after 2 straight losses, including a shootout loss on home ice to the Blue Jackets earlier this week. Returning to the lineup for the Jets, D-man Dylan Samberg, who was hitting the ice for the first time this season after being sidelined in the preseason with a broken wrist.
Feel good. Obviously, long road to recovery, and watched a lot of games and had the itch for quite some time. Obviously, being able to skate and not being able to play is kind of tough, but good to be back in the lineup.
Puck drop in Seattle tonight goes at 9 o'clock.
The Hockey Report, brought to you by Santa Lucia Pizza. Check out the game day special. CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, things aren't only heating up at the convention center tonight.
Oh, no.
Temperatures are also going to be heating up as we get closer to the big game.
Double-digit temperatures forecast for southern Manitoba tomorrow. My goodness. Yes, it is the middle of November. While we've been enjoying the sunshine here in the South Marilee, the north is bracing for snow and potentially an awful lot of it. But we're seeing the clouds along with this incoming low-pressure system building up here tonight. So a pretty quiet night in terms of any kind of action here. Pretty stable conditions overall under the influence of a pair of ridges of high pressure both at the surface and upper levels to the west, keeping things relatively calm here in the south and further east into northwestern Ontario. Clearer still, winds relatively light as well coming out of the east-southeast there. It is the north, though, that is bracing for potentially a pretty significant snowfall. Environment Canada has put a snowfall warning for areas including Lynn Lake, north up to Brochet, to Dooley Lake and Churchill areas. Now, Environment Canada says anywhere from 10 to 25 centimeters centimeters is expected with this system. The catch, though, it's a little difficult at this point to forecast exactly where those heaviest bands are going to go. At this point, though, it looks like it will be further north that we'll see the most, but where that line happens between heavily falling snow and much lighter snow, hard to tell, but it's going to be quite a sharp drop-off. Even around the Churchill area, Environment Canada pointing out that likely the heavier snowfall amounts will be north of the town of Churchill, but still, the town of Churchill will still see significant amounts, and even those areas that aren't in those warned zones will still see snow as well in northern Manitoba, and you can see the first of it starts to make its way into the province this evening. It will spread pretty quickly across the northwest, and also too, watch out for this. If you're on the southern edge of this system, freezing rain, and that could make things pretty slick heading into Friday morning. Meanwhile, throughout the day, we'll see the clouds increase in the south just as the temperatures do, so I'm sure folks won't notice the clouds all that much. The temperatures will be so distracting in a great way. Overnight, we go into Saturday, fairly clear in the south. A little bit of light snow makes its way into the northern part of the province once again. For tonight for Winnipeg, partly cloudy. We drop down to 2 degrees. Winds out of the south at 20 kilometers an hour most of the night. They strengthen a bit in the morning, so a little windy, mix of sun and cloud, 4 for the commute, increasing cloud throughout the day. The winds will shift. They'll come from the west. They drop off a bit, 20 kilometers an hour on the way to that high of 11 degrees. For perspective, the normal high for this time of year for Winnipeg is -1. We won't even drop that low tonight for a low. Across the north tonight, the snow doesn't quite get to you just yet tonight. Churchill, that comes to you tomorrow. Other areas, Gillam, Island Lake, Thompson, you'll see that snow start to move in. Temperatures rising in many areas across the north tonight. Snow falling heavily at times in Churchill tomorrow, -2. In the northwest tonight, you get that snow first through most areas as the temperature rises overnight, and then tomorrow, snow falling heavily at times at Lynn Lake, Norway House, likely to see rain. In the southwest tonight, quickly varying amounts of cloud, dropping down to -2 in Brandon, 0 for Dauphin. Cloudy across the region tomorrow, 12 and 13 degrees. Winnipeg in the southeast, varying amounts of cloud. We stay above freezing for the most part, except for Steinbach there in Gimli. Increasing cloud tomorrow with those highs around 11 and 12 degrees, and in northwestern Ontario, varying amounts of cloud, slipping just below freezing, mix of sun and cloud, and some nice temperatures there tomorrow. The Aurora Borealis once again put on a big show all across Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. That first photo is from Susan out in Roblin, Manitoba, and up in the Siglavik Gimli area, Natalka caught that gorgeous shot. Send us your weather photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Well, you can expect a lot of hockey fights across the NHL this month, and it's all for a good cause. Hockey Fights Cancer is an initiative across the league to support cancer patients and their families. And as CTV's John Hendricks shows you in this month's edition of More Tomorrows Together, the Winnipeg Jets are raising money and awareness for the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation.
9-year-old Noah is having a whale of a time painting this whale.
It still looks amazing. It's better than I thought it would be.
He's very proud of the results. And mom, Emmeline Salvador, is very proud of the artist.
He's a fun-loving, outdoorsy, artistic child.
A positive spirit he shows every day, even though he's fighting a very scary battle against leukemia. He was diagnosed in September of 2024 and has been getting treatment and care from Cancer Care Manitoba.
The doctors, the oncologists, the nurses, you're surrounded by people who've been there, who've fought it, and are angels.
Now Noah and Cancer Care are getting an assist from the Winnipeg Jets.
Tonight, we honor the bravery and resiliency of those battling cancer.
November is Hockey Fights Cancer Month in the National Hockey League. Each year, the Winnipeg Jets raise money and awareness for Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation.
All the funds raised through this campaign are really important to pediatric cancer research and making sure that the latest treatments are available for these young people.
And that's where Noah's whale comes in. He's working on it alongside Haley Comrie, the wife of Jets goaltender Eric Comrie, whose own artistic effort will be auctioned off to support the cause.
I did this last year and I had so much fun with all the kids. It's a great time. And I also love art projects. I have 2 little ones at home. And also I think this is such a special cause.
A cause close to the Salvador family's heart. John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
You'll be able to bid on the items created by the Jets' wives and girlfriends, along with other items. They'll be auctioned off at the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Fights Cancer Night on November 23rd. At that time, Noah and the other pediatric cancer patients will be there for the ceremonial puck drop.
More Tomorrows Together is brought to you by Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation.
I am anticipating, as I think we all are, a rough respiratory season.
Still ahead, flu season is upon us, but there are some things you can do in addition to vaccines to help keep yourself healthy. We'll explain next in Medical Watch. The Grey Cup is still days away from being awarded, but tonight the celebration is already well underway. This week it seems everyone is a football fan, and the hope is that newfound love will have lasting effects. Joining me now to talk more about what hosting the Grey Cup could mean for the future of the game in our province is Stan Pierre, head coach and defensive coordinator of the U of M Bisons football team. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
You know, I mentioned everyone is a football fan this week because it's true. Many are taking in Grey Cup festivities for the first time tonight. Can hosting a big event like the Grey Cup really change football culture in a city?
I think it can. Any type of big exposure where our game garners this much attention, it can be aspirational, especially for young people. We have such a growing community and flag that really is available to kids, boys, girls, all ages. So there's many different ways to start participating in football, and hopefully something like the Grey Cup can motivate more kids to try it. You know, Canada is commonly known as a hockey mad country, but if you take a look downtown where I am tonight, it's diehard football fans everywhere. The CFL really does provide a pretty unique fan experience. The Grey Cup is another Canadian holiday, really, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a peer member that doesn't have a group of people that, you know, they have some sort of tradition watching the game, or, you know, Grey Cup pools or tickets, or in this case, you're able to go to the game. So that's something that carries on year after year after year, and the excitement of just getting people together. I mean, it's very similar to something you would experience at Thanksgiving or Christmas. Our province actually has a pretty deep tie, too, to the CFL. Can you give us a bit of a rundown of our legacy to the game? Yeah, well, certainly. I mean, in terms of course, we have a CFL city. Our facility is housed in that CFL city. There's been a lot of legacy in terms of players that have played in the CFL, whether they've come from our program or other programs who are from Manitoba. Our city has always been a central point in terms of a hub in terms of the CFL, and you know, the fan support in our city is second to none in the country. It's really a flagship organization for other CFL teams. So I think we can be very proud, and we can say that Manitoba is a football hotbed in Canada. A lot of people going to fall in love with football if they haven't already after this weekend. What does football teach us, you know, maybe beyond the field even? Yeah, I mean, you know, people who are involved in football always like to tout that it's the best team sport in the world. You know, you look at a team like ours, it'd be hard to find a high-performance team that is more diverse, that has more viewpoints. We have men and women on our team. We have men and women on our staff. We have people of color. We have people with Indigenous backgrounds. We have every color under the rainbow is involved in our football team. So I think that's really what football does, is it opens up the doors to a lot of different people to participate in many different ways. And the team's so big, you get to reach a lot more people just with the law of large numbers. All right, I saved the toughest question for the last. Are you ready for this one, Coach? Ready. Who do I cheer for on Sunday? Yeah, it's a great question. I've been getting it a lot. You know, I'm not going to force anybody to cheer for Saskatchewan. I know traditionally the West is kind of required to cheer for the West. But, you know, everybody's Grey Cup experience is individual, so I give everybody permission to cheer whoever they like. All right. Coach Pierre, thanks so much for your time tonight. It was really great speaking with you. Yeah, thank you. Anytime. We're officially in respiratory virus season, and it's expected to last through mid-May, but there are ways to protect against viruses like COVID-19, influenza, and RSV naturally.
Do you have any medical problems that we should be preparing your asthma medications for the fall and winter? Should we be making sure your diabetes is well controlled?
Dr. Sarah Nozel with the American Academy of Family Physicians says the first line of defense is vaccination, but there are also natural ways to give your immune system a boost, and that starts with getting other underlying medical conditions under control. Next, make healthy choices like consistent exercise, staying hydrated, and eating foods like fruits and vegetables.
We want our body to have all of the nutrients, not to be deficient in any nutrients.
Getting good quality sleep is also critical for immune system health, as is managing stress. And Nozel's final tip, make sure everyone in the family frequently washes their hands with soap and water.
Medical Watch is brought to you by Manukin Koster Denture Clinic. Magical sights and sounds are coming to downtown Winnipeg. It's time for the Manitoba Hydro Santa Claus Parade. Stream it live November 15th at 5 p.m. on ctvwinnipeg.ca. Brought to you by Manitoba Hydro. Spotlight sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg. Presenting Serena Ryder, the Merry Myths Tour.
The nature versus nurture debate gets a sci-fi twist in A Number at Royal MTC.
It's an adventure, isn't it? And you're part of science. I wouldn't be frightened to meet any number.
A Number is a psychological thriller. Bernard has lived a content life as an only child, but then he discovers a secret about his past. His family had another son who looked exactly like him. That's because he's a clone. This production examines themes of identity, family dynamics, and the ethics of scientific experimentation.
We think about Dolly the sheep, but at the same time, in the research that I've done, there's been a lot of other doctors who have done a lot of significant cloning that we've never heard about. Not human cloning, but animal cloning, dog cloning. So those questions we're dragging them with us into the future, and there'll be other things. You know, Y2K is an old thing that never really landed, but if we start cloning our children, then we're going to have a lot of questions to answer.
A Number is on now at Royal MTC's Tom Hendry Warehouse. It runs through to November 29th. Tickets are available at royalmtc.ca. Well, it's no secret that we love the sport of curling here in Manitoba, so it's appropriate that a new TV series about the sport is being filmed here in Winnipeg. It's a comedy called Cool Sweepings, and filming on the project is already underway.
And action, please.
Cool Sweepings is billed as the first ever black curling comedy TV series. Filming got underway early this month on the show that is created, directed, and produced by a black-led cast and crew. You will recognize some of the names involved in this series in front of and behind the camera. Former Winnipeg Blue Bomber Kelly Butler is on the show, as is Joshua Calder, a young rap recording artist. And the executive producer of the series is Devon Clunas, the former police chief of the Winnipeg Police Service. Now, we're told the series will be delivered by the spring of 2026, and it will air on Bell 5 TV. Rainbow Stage is celebrating a record-setting season, and it's announced some activities to help tide you over until next season. The company says it welcomed the highest number of patrons in recent history during its 2025 season. Productions this year included Rock of Ages, the ever-popular Frozen, and Afterlight, which just wrapped up last week. It says the 2026 season announcement is coming soon. In the meantime, Rainbow Stage is offering free community dance lessons, whether you're already a professional or just putting on your dancing shoes for the first time. It starts with a theater jazz class next week before moving on to hip-hop in December. You can head to rainbowstage.ca to learn more and register. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with Hell's Kitchen. At 8, catch 911 Nashville. Grey's Anatomy is next at 9, and at 10, it's George and Mandy's First Marriage. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arbor, Manitoba.
A new type of modern art, why a horse was walking around inside the Winnipeg Art Gallery today.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S Antique Spa Salon.
Well, we dropped all the way down to -5 early this morning. Highest temperature today, 8 degrees. The normal high is -1. Tonight, we stay above that. 2 degrees is our overnight low. Partly cloudy tonight, up to 11 on Friday. Great for that Grey Cup Festival. Sunshine throughout the weekend. The Santa Claus Parade goes Saturday, a high of 3. Grey Cup Sunday, 2 degrees. And then sunshine continues next week with those nice temperatures.
Thanks, Colleen. Okay, stop me if you've heard this one before. So a horse walks into an art gallery. That's right. One of the Grey Cup's oldest traditions is back. Tough Enough, the mascot of the Calgary Stampeders, made his grand entrance at the Winnipeg Art Gallery. And if you're wondering why they had a horse walking around in there, well, it's part of an annual tradition that stretches back to 1948. A Stampeders fan rode a horse into the lobby of Toronto's Royal York Hotel, and fans have duplicated that feat every year since. And obviously, not just in hotel lobbies, as they're at the Winnipeg Art Gallery today. Although we're told Tough Enough also made an appearance in the lobby of the Holiday Inn today. Tough Enough is a pretty well-behaved horse. That could have went really bad.
That's right, making the rounds. And cultured now, too.
There you go. All right, that's just the start of the fun of the Grey Cup weekend that is upon us now. Tune in tomorrow for much more of that excitement. We'll take you there live. Have a great evening.